Additional discount. Get the best back-to-school bargains at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
Ooh, you're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Get your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval to buy at accunet.com.
The Democratic National Convention is officially underway. Stay tuned to WTMJ all convention long for the latest news, interviews, and more coming from Chicago. We are your home for DNC coverage. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 11 o'clock. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It is Wednesday, August 21st. Your top story, day 3 at the DNC.
I'm Jessica Ty. A bicyclist dies in a train accident.
Chilly start to the day. Very pleasant conditions, however. Mostly sunny and beautiful. A high of 76 inland. A little cooler near the lake. Clear tonight and a low of 50. Mostly sunny. Beautiful on Thursday with a high of 77. 69 degrees and partly cloudy in Milwaukee at 11:01 from the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom. Decision, Wisconsin. Day 3 of the Democratic National Convention underway in Chicago.
This is Cermak McCormick Place.
While the official theme for Day 3 of the DNC is a fight for our freedoms, according to Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear during the press briefing, the unofficial theme today is Walls Wednesday. The Minnesota governor will officially accept the party's nomination as vice presidential running mate to Kamala Harris. Also speaking this evening will include Nancy Pelosi and former President Bill Clinton. At McCormick Place in Chicago, Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson also expected to address delegates this evening.
Eyes were also on Milwaukee. More than 15,000 people attended the rally at Pfizer Forum, according to the Harris Walls campaign. During her speech last night, Vice President Kamala Harris said former President Trump's campaign is focused on the past, and she touted her own as a vision for the future.
A future with affordable health care. A future with affordable child care. A future with affordable housing and paid leave. That's the future we believe in.
More than halfway through her speech, Harris paused when the crowd alerted her to a medical situation, asking the crowd to part so a medical team could reach the person in need of some help.
Well, it continues to be a battleground in the Badger State. Counter-programming from Republican vice presidential candidate Senator J.D. Vance appearing at a campaign event in Kenosha on Tuesday.
Politically, Wisconsin may be very well the most important state in the country come November, and we believe that. We know that. All the polling says it. But most of all, you feel it on the ground.
Vance speaking at a meeting with the Kenosha Professional Police Association, fully endorsing the Trump-Vance ticket at the event.
A bicyclist dies in downtown Oconomowoc after being hit by a train.
The deadly incident happened Tuesday afternoon at the railroad crossing on South Silver Lake Street. In a statement, Amtrak says the cyclist had been obstructing the tracks before they were struck. The Borealis passenger train heading to St. Paul was delayed for about 3 hours, and no one on the train was hurt. The incident was the second cyclist death involving Oconomowoc Tuesday. 71-year-old Susan Cass from the city was killed after a crash with a car in Minocqua earlier in the day. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. All the indices lagging this morning, with the Dow currently down about 69 points at 40,763. NASDAQ off about 22 points at 17,795. S&P 500 off about 5 points today at 5592. For sound financial advice from a fee-only fiduciary, it's Annex Wealth Management. Go to annexwealth.com and click on the Get Started button today.
Sports, traffic, and weather next. Saudi Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 11:04.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstad here. I absolutely love Wisconsin this time of year. It's absolutely heaven, especially on a lake, especially after a swim perhaps, or maybe even water skiing. But again, you know how that goes. You do something like that, then the joint pain really starts to act up. The knees really start to bark. And you know you want to take care of it, but you don't want surgery. Well, there is another way. QC Kinetics. There's exciting new cellular therapies that can get you lasting relief in your joints, and the place to go is QC Kinetics, using cutting-edge treatments, but no surgery, no drugs, And here's the best part, no downtime. You can get right back to work the day of your treatment. Call QC Kinetics today and find out what they can do for you. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. This is the future of medicine. Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation, 414-285-3474.
One of the biggest innovations I've seen recently is the improvement in fabrics.
Ben and Arvid Huth from Penny Mustard Furnishings.
Stain-resistant fabrics, the pet-friendly fabrics, the kid-friendly fabrics that you can spill something on and clean it right up and it's gone. In years past, you spilled a glass of wine on something, it was done. There was no fixing that mistake ever. It was a new sofa time.
See, me on the other hand, I'm thinking about that recliner that now has lumbar. I just push a button and, I get lumbar. And push a different button and my head comes forward. And the comfort that they're now building in furniture that wasn't there, 10 years ago. It's just amazing where that's come.
Full extension drawers, that's been a big improvement, so you don't have to dig back into your drawer to see what's in the back of it. The drawer comes all the way out.
Whereas 15 years ago, that wasn't used at all.
Well, we were one of the first ones to use it.
Yeah, we were on the cutting edge of that, but now it's like everybody's using it. Not the quality ones we're using, but everybody's using some form of it.
See more at pennymustard.com.
There's still a lot of good things happening.
Small improvements all the time.
Yeah, it's always something new and exciting.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Brewers are on a roll. They've won 6 straight games. Their series with the Cardinals continues tonight, Game 2. Coverage gets underway following the 6 o'clock news. Milwaukee owns the largest division lead in all of baseball at 11.5 games over the second-place Cubs. One more preseason game for the Packers and one more joint practice. Baltimore Ravens visiting Green Bay tomorrow and staying through Saturday afternoon's game. Packers' initial 53-man roster is due to the league August 27th.
Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time-saver traffic. No crashes to let you know about. That's fantastic news on this Wednesday. We do have 2 disabled vehicles on... The first one is close to the domes, actually. It's on the ramp from Wisconsin 175 South to I-94 East. Right shoulder is blocked due to a disabled vehicle there. And then also as we travel down towards the Elm Grove area, go on over there, I-94 East, about a mile beyond the ramp from Moreland Road. The right shoulder is blocked due to a car that's broken down.
Kind of a cool start to the day, mostly sunny and beautiful, though. Nice little warm up here, very pleasant day, and a high of 76 degrees, 73 cooler at the lake. 50, your overnight low, mostly sunny, still amazing on Thursday with a high of 77. A little warmer on Friday, partly cloudy, and a high of 80. It is 70 degrees in Milwaukee at 11:07.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
Well, we've hit that time where I'm now wearing long sleeves and pants. So I woke up this morning, get to take the dog outside, and usually just got a pair of shorts on and a T-shirt. Like, whoa, hang on a second now.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
In the morning, I'm always like, Alexa or Hey Google, because we have both. What's the temperature outside? I just do it. It's just easy while you're getting around. And it was in the 60s, which was cool. But our producer, Gina, said when she asked, it was like 58.
Yeah, no, it was 54 at my house this morning when I woke up about 6 o'clock in the morning. The dog was interested in being outside. I was not as much.
It's beautiful, though. When I took the dog outside, I thought, I didn't wear a jacket. I didn't go there. Not doing that just yet. A little bit cooler, but it's beautiful. It just feels like a fall day.
It definitely does. We are warming up here. A little warm-up expected. Certainly by the weekend, things look to be back into the humid phase. So not out of summer yet. Thank goodness we are hanging on. And hopefully September is a beautiful and sincere fall. It is 11:08 on WTMJ. It's the big stories that we're following here this morning.
And now it's time for 3 Big Things on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Number 1, it is day 3 of the DNC in Chicago. Today's theme, a fight for our freedoms. It's the build-up to the big night tomorrow when Vice President Kamala Harris gives her acceptance speech. ABC's Christian Cordero with a look ahead to this evening.
Wednesday night, another former president, Bill Clinton, will take the stage, and Harris running mate Minnesota Governor Tim Walz will officially accept the Democratic Party's vice presidential nomination. That is all a prelude to Harris's keynote address set for Thursday night.
Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Transport will also deliver remarks. After making an appearance on stage the first night of the DNC, then popping up on the screen in Chicago from Milwaukee last night, some people are wondering if we'll see Harris tonight in some fashion. We've kind of asked some people about that. If we do, it's going to be another surprise because nobody knows.
Well, both of these conventions have defied convention, right? Convention is that the nominee doesn't take the stage until that night, the impassioned speech, the rallying speech. Well, Donald Trump was visible every night in Milwaukee. Kamala Harris has been on a stage, one in Chicago, one in Milwaukee, through the first 2 days of the DNC. So sure, maybe she's alongside Timothy Walz at some point.
Well, I kind of like the fact that both have switched it up. And I mean, when you think about the RNC, that was switched up because of the assassination attempt. So that's very different. But yes, this has been tradition, but why not mix the tradition up? I mean, we'll talk about later in the show the roll call from the DNC. That was wild and something very different, but a lot of people would argue a lot of fun and maybe injected some energy.
Well, and Spotify's got a playlist in case you missed any of that last night. Meanwhile, outside of DNC venues, intensity and arrests are ratcheting up with protesters.
This is Jim Ryan in Chicago, about a mile east of the convention venue Tuesday night. Pro-Palestinian demonstrators held a rally without a permit and clashed with police who tried to clear the street in front of the Israeli consulate. The National Lawyers Guild says more than 70 people were arrested.
Now, this has been building. You could see it coming. Protesters breaching a security defense into that security perimeter on Monday afternoon. You had a standoff between protesters and officers at Union Park hours later. Police are literally working around the clock. They're trying to separate the pro-Israeli and pro-Palestinian protesters, dealing with the shouting back and forth. And whoever is leading this group, they apparently are well funded. I mean, there's multiple U-Hauls. I mean, there's all sorts of people and stuff. And it's a much bigger contingent of protesters than we saw here in Milwaukee. And I think those who were in Milwaukee felt like they weren't able to get the message across the way they wanted to. And now you've got more in mass in a bigger city, albeit in Chicago.
Number 3, a federal judge blocks a ban on non-competes. Now the Federal Trade Commission says it's seriously considering a potential appeal. ABC News Chief Business and Economics Correspondent Rebecca Jarvis has the update.
About 30 million Americans, or 20% of U.S. workers, have signed non-competes, and the FTC's new rule, which was meant to take effect September 4th, would have meant that anyone applying for a new job could not be forced to sign a non-compete, and for workers with existing agreements, those non-competes would no longer be enforceable. Now, that sweeping ban is on hold after a federal judge in Texas decided the government agency lacks the authority to put the ban in place.
The White House says it still supports a non-compete ban, but the U.S. Chamber of Commerce is celebrating the ruling, calling it a significant win in the chamber's fight against government micromanagement of business. This is so wild to me because I had a non-compete for almost 20 years of my life.
Sure. Yeah, it's just a thing.
It was just,
media,
there was no getting out of it. Nope. Non-compete.
I had one at a point in my career. I've had that, and we don't here at Good Karma Brands. There is no non-compete.
Well, there is no contract here.
There's no contract.
That was wild to me, too, because I've always been tied. Always tied. I've always been somebody who has said, I'm going to stay, too, right? I've been a very loyal person, so it is actually very strange not to have one. So now you know a little bit more, a little inside knowledge here.
It's 11:13 on WTMJ. We'll go to Chicago. Karen Travers, ABC White House correspondent, covering the DNC. All the surprises inside and outside of the venues. We have it covered with Karen after this.
Tony Drake here from Drake & Associates. Big news. Our retirement-ready radio show is moving to a new time slot. Catch us at noon every Saturday. At Drake & Associates, we craft tailor-made plans that not only meet your financial needs, but align seamlessly with your unique lifestyle. Tune in at noon on Saturdays and get retirement ready.
Drake & Associates, LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates, LLC does not provide legal or tax advice.
Hey, does your home need a new defensive coach? WTMJ's Greg Matzik here. I want to tell you about Siding Unlimited, the best in the business when it comes to installation of high-quality products. Any way to beautify your home's exterior? Think about that for a second. What does that mean to you? Well, now apply Siding Unlimited as the solution to your issues with doors, windows, roofing, siding, you name it. Siding Unlimited fixes it. They install the good stuff, the new stuff, and make it look fantastic. Widely recognized as the best installation crews you are going to find. They've got the awards to back that up, especially from Pella. Pella recognizes Siding Unlimited as their Platinum Elite Pella Certified Contractor of the Year. That is a national award for Siding Unlimited, the only one around here with such a distinction. So what are you waiting for? Take some pictures, take some ideas out to Siding Unlimited. Visit their showroom in Brookfield. It's 665 Larry Court. You'll find it. It's out near Gerke's Corners, or visit sidingunlimited.com.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we can get you the farm supplies you need because we get you. Right now, it's our summer farm sale, which means unbeatable prices on trusted brands. Like $90 off DeWalt 6-foot welded storage racks, 3-ton Laren garage floor jacks, only $174.99, and Performance Tool automotive grease guns and specialty tools, 20% off. Plus, we've been working with our brand partners to get prices down. So shop our new, lower everyday prices throughout the store at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Wonderfully pleasant day today, 77 your high. Might be a little cooler near the lake, a lot of sun, expect that. Cool tonight again, a low of 50 degrees inland. Tomorrow, high of 77 degrees again, mostly sunny skies. We warm up a little bit more on Friday with a high of 80 and partly cloudy skies. It is 70 degrees in Milwaukee at 11:15.
It was, and, it makes sense. When the campaign was telling us about this, they said, look, we need to go where voters are, and this is a very close race, and we need to be campaigning hard. Obviously, she didn't have a long campaign lead up to this. And, there is a very limited time between now and Election Day. And so that message of, we have to meet voters where they are is very important for them right now. And they were acknowledging, the voters aren't in Chicago. These delegates who are here at the convention, we know, and they know that who they're voting for. So this is very convenient for them to travel 90 miles north and be in a pivotal part of a very key battleground state. And I think if you throw in the fact that this is also where Donald Trump accepted the Republican nomination just a couple weeks ago, that adds a nice little cherry on top for some trolling of campaign strategy, too. But it was very well pulled off last night. The choreography was very successful, where they had the roll call happening at the arena last night, which was very lively and boisterous. It was ceremonial, celebratory. It didn't actually count. The official roll call had already happened a few weeks ago. But then after California, quote, put her over the top to clinch the nomination, then they went to them in the room in Chicago, in Milwaukee. All the monitors here in Chicago lit up with the appearance of Harris and Walz in your city last night. And so they were able to address the delegates for just a couple of minutes before the rally up there got underway. Very seamlessly done, and I think pretty clever. And then you're maximizing your coverage. This convention certainly getting a lot of coverage, and then you're also getting coverage out there on the campaign trail.
Yeah, it looked good on TV, that's for sure. I mean, we had thousands of people here at Pfizer Forum watching Kamala here in Milwaukee, but what was the crowd reaction like in Chicago? That's where you were when Kamala popped up on that screen from MKE.
Yeah, it's the second time that they've done a little bit of a surprise appearance by her, because on Monday night around 9 o'clock Eastern time, she came out on stage and just did a hey, Chicago, let's get this underway. But the crowd loved that too, because they weren't anticipating it. So I think these elements of surprise are really revving up the Democrats that are in the room. And look, they were already enthusiastic because they knew what was coming, and that was Michelle Obama and Barack Obama. But, any way that they can get Vice President Harris in front of this crowd over the next couple of days, it's a success for them.
Was Lil Jon also an element of surprise last night?
He was. To all of us, we didn't know about it, and we get details in advance, of knowing what the lineup and the order of things and the exact scheduling, and that caught all of us by surprise. That was quite a moment. The crowd was very into that. I mean, the whole roll call, I have to say, was very clever. They had a song or an artist that had some connection to the state when the state was coming up to announce their delegates. It's a chance for all these delegates to show state pride, lots of, we're from the great state of whatever, we love this, and all of that. And then also show their enthusiasm for the Democratic ticket, which they certainly did with a lot of gusto last night.
Well, they played jump around for Wisconsin before Tony Evers, governor, kind of went through whatever he did.
Whatever he was trying to say. Yikes.
Didn't go very well for Tony. But, you talk about trolling of strategies. Yeah, I couldn't help but watching everything play out last night and thinking about, one of the discussion points from the Trump campaign is that he has these massive rallies. They're sold out, right? Everybody wants to see Trump because he is the show. And they've kind of, mocked Kamala Harris and prior to that, President Biden for not being able to do that. Kamala's first event was at a high school here in West Dallas, a suburb of Milwaukee. Well, then she goes and says, all right, you want to talk attendance? How about we pack the house at the United Center and put 15,000 people in Milwaukee? Right? Like, to me, that felt like a little bit of a middle finger at the Trump campaign.
Yeah, they're trying to show, that they feel that it's not just perceived momentum that's out there right now, but they have actual genuine momentum because of the enthusiasm. I mean, you're seeing in polls, too, of, that enthusiasm gap closing, the, likely to vote closing on the Democratic side and people being more energized and revved up since the change in the ticket. I think at that first event out there in Milwaukee, they actually changed the venue, too, from what they were originally going to do because they had so much demand for tickets. They had to find somewhere bigger to do it. And it's been consistent. I mean, she's been drawing really big crowds at all of her events, bigger than anything we had seen with President Biden at his relatively limited so far campaign schedule, but certainly it's very different than what we saw in 2020, which was the COVID year for sure.
I feel like we got a little hint last night about Barack Obama's plans to campaign for Kamala moving forward. How intensely is he going to campaign for her?
He's going to be out there quite a bit. And, it won't start until after Labor Day. Like, that's kind of the official kickoff for campaigns. So I think when people are like, well, why haven't we seen him so far? This is all by design. And there was always, no matter where the ticket was, whether it was still President Biden, now obviously it was Kamala Harris, but he was not going to be doing anything until the fall because they feel like that's the best way to maximize his ability to win over voters and get some coverage out there on the campaign trail. We are told, though, by people close to the president, the former president, that, he's all in. He is willing to do whatever they ask him to do, and he will plan to hit the campaign trail very hard, probably in a way that we haven't seen him do since his own campaign, his reelection campaign back in 2012.
ABC White House correspondent Karen Travers, I'm wondering if we could set an over-under for how many appearances somebody from the Harris campaign has in Milwaukee between now and November 5th and somebody from the Trump camp. What's it going to be, 9, 10? They're getting mail here in the state.
We're 76 days out, I guess, today. I'm going to think about this because I think I need to come up with a big strategy and look at the calendar. But yeah, I mean, and this happens every election cycle where there's one or two places where the campaigns just pour all of their energy into. And I think you'll see Governor Walz quite a bit in the Midwest. They feel like his backstory, his personality, the issues he can talk about will really have appeal in the Midwest. So I think you're going to see a lot of him. Hopefully he won't be talking about the Vikings as the football season gets underway because that's not going to go over very well. But, you're going to be getting quite a bit of attention. I was just actually I was visiting family, and it's the Philadelphia television market, and the advertising is just out of control. So I know what you guys are going through now.
Karen, we've seen J.D. Vance sort of bracket Harris's appearances in the state of Wisconsin. Obviously, he can be a little more nimble than former President Trump. But how important is it for former President Trump to also make a return to the state of Wisconsin?
Yeah, I mean, it's all about him. I think you're seeing the difference of the crowd sizes that J.D. Vance is drawing. There's just no comparison. Donald Trump is what gets people out. They're there to see him. They're there to, experience the Trump rally experience. And so I think it is important for them to figure out their strategy of how much more he's going to be doing. That was one thing that was very noticeable in the last couple of weeks of how little that Donald Trump was actually campaigning. And that was, one thing when it was against Joe Biden, who also wasn't campaigning all that much. Vice President Harris is going to be out there very aggressively. I mean, this is all she's going to be doing. She will be on the trail every single day. And that contrast, if Trump is not matching her with that same pace of campaign schedule, I think will be something that we're going to be paying attention to.
We talked about how there's not a lot of time left before the November election. It kind of seemed to be something that was a theme last night about not shying away from saying this race is going to be close. Get out there and vote. I think about Michelle Obama's speech. She was like, tell your friends, and a lot of do something. And I'm not saying that we didn't hear that during the RNC. I mean, I definitely talked to delegates who said this is going to be close as well, but I just felt like it felt different last night. They were not afraid to say, you got to get out there and vote because this is going to be close.
Yeah, and I think, the difference, just looking at kind of where things were at the RNC coming out of that weekend with the assassination attempt against the former president, like they were feeling a different vibe. It was right after the debate and things were not looking good for Joe Biden. So they were just feeling like, hey, all the trend lines are in our favor at this point. Obviously, the momentum has changed a bit with what you're seeing in the polls right now. But the message, I think, from Michelle, especially last night, is, we can't take anything for granted. I mean, this is the third time now that she has campaigned and done a speech and given a big message to try and prevent a Donald Trump election win. So I think for her, it's personal. She's been here before. She talked about how personal it is, like just for her and her family of, the things he has said about them. But I think that, Democrats by nature are kind of a worrywart party, and they are very cautious right now about where things are going for them.
Well, we know we'll see Kamala Harris on stage tomorrow night in Chicago. We're wondering if she'll be on stage again tonight. We've seen her present on a stage in a city, one or the other. The first two nights of the convention, we saw Donald Trump. We saw him, keywords, he wasn't on stage every night, but we saw him every night of the RNC leading up to his accepting of the nomination. It's defied convention, these conventions, Karen. Will Kamala be on stage tonight for any reason?
Yeah, we haven't heard that, but, they've been doing all these surprises, so we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if she didn't come out and join Governor Walz maybe at the end of his remarks, or maybe they leave that to be a nice Walz family moment, too. This is also a big chance for people to get introduced to Walz. There's a lot of stuff in the last couple of weeks, obviously, to push his biography, a lot of social media content. But I think many Americans don't really know who he is. And this is a chance tonight for them to define him, to lay out the parts of the biography that they want voters to latch onto. I think you're going to hear about football coaching and about the National Guard and hunting, things like that, a lot tonight.
Always great information. ABC White House correspondent Karen Travers in Chicago for the DNC. Thank you, Karen.
Have a great day.
You too.
Hey, Wisconsin, it's construction season, and the Wisconsin DOT wants to help you safely navigate work zones in your area. Check 511wi.gov or download the free 511 app to see current road work, closures, detours, and camera views on your route. Wherever your travels take you, know before you go with 511wi.gov. That's 511wi.gov. And remember, know before you go. Always park the phone while driving. Sponsored by the Wisconsin DOT.
For love of the game.
There's nothing like being selected to the Olympic team.
And love of their country.
Championship of that level, gold medal, means more.
Tune into Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. Inside stories from Bucks stars on the agony and triumph of competing to win it all at the Olympics. It's Behind the Bucks, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm WTMJ's Sandy Max. What makes senior living at Three Pillars so special? Let's hear from Three Pillars resident Doris.
I came to visit and it just felt very comfortable. It's a large campus. There's a lot of green areas. There's lots of trails that are going through it that you can walk. You can use your walker or rollie on it. They bought a bunch of trikes and I want to try one of those three-wheelers and get it out on one of those walking paths. And for me, it's home with wonderful people.
Schedule a tour today at threepillars.org.
As fall approaches, you have a lot to prepare for. Back to school, sporting events, family gatherings, and staying on top of your health. The virus that causes COVID-19 continues to evolve. So this fall, no matter what you're prepping for, you can prioritize your family's health and make a game plan for COVID-19 vaccination. Ask your doctor or pharmacist to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, Hey, Wisconsin, WTMJ's Greg Matzik here for Holiday Mazda in Fond du Lac. Hey, drive inspired year-round in a new Mazda or Mazda-certified pre-owned model that's right for you from Wisconsin's #1 Mazda dealer. Connect with Holiday for their low, simplified price. Get more for your trade, then stack that savings with enticing offers to lower your bottom line and payment. Score generous customer cash on many, or well-qualified buyers can lock in finance rates as low as 0% on favorites. About the invigorating Mazda 3, the all-wheel drive Mazda CX-5 or CX-30, the off-road ready Mazda CX-50, and the 3-row roomy and responsive Mazda CX-90. Which Mazda's right for you? Treat yourself to a test drive and find out. Team Holiday's simple and pressure-free buying approach and genuine guest care makes fans of drivers from all over Wisconsin and beyond. I'm one of those fans and confident you will be too. Find yours and discover the difference at Holiday Mazda in Fond du Lac and at holidaymazda.com. It's worth the trip. It's 11:30. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Wednesday, August 21st. Your top story. Does it seem like the candidates are always in Wisconsin?
I'm Jessica Ty. A rite of passage starts today.
Chilly start to the day, mostly sunny, very pleasant today, a high of 76 degrees, 50 overnight low. It's 70 in Milwaukee.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franz, and it's day 3 of the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. Minnesota Governor and VP nominee Tim Walz will address the crowds tonight, just over 2 weeks since Kamala Harris picked him to join the ticket. ABC's Mary Alice Parks is there.
When Tim Walz takes the stage behind me later tonight, he has this national audience where he gets to really introduce himself for the first time. We're told that it'll be an enthusiastic speech, a joyful speech. That's a word, of course, this campaign keeps leaning in on, but that it'll be personal, where he talks about his background as a member of the National Guard, but then a football coach, a teacher, before running for Congress.
Republicans Donald Trump and running mate J.D. Vance campaigning together in North Carolina. It is Trump's first outdoor rally since the assassination attempt in July. The Secret Service adding bulletproof glass around the podium. And longtime Democratic New Jersey Congressman Bill Pascrell has died. His family announced he served 14 terms in Congress. Pascrell was 87. This is ABC News.
Siding Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 11:31. With just over 2 months to go until Election Day, don't expect to see much of one presidential campaign and not the other.
It's a battle over the news cycle. That battle's not just one with paid advertisement, but organic appearances, the latter of which Wisconsin's experienced an abundance of by both the Harris and Trump campaigns. Notably last week, when Vice President Harris and Senator J.D. Vance were both in Eau Claire, just a few miles from one another. UW-La Crosse political science professor Anthony Chergosky says it's a strategy called bracketing.
He is playing that classic attack dog role, following Harris and Walz around the nation and trying to break through that news cycle while the Harris and Walz team is campaigning for the presidency.
The most recent example came on Tuesday when Harris was in Milwaukee and Vance in Kenosha. Mike Spalding, WTMJ News.
Decision Wisconsin. Milwaukee comes into the spotlight on day 3 of the DNC.
After a big night at political conventions, there tends to be a hangover feeling the next day. That is the feeling here at the United Center. The Obamas talking late into the night. The delegates are beginning to show up here. Lots of media is here as well. And it will be Milwaukee's turn in the spotlight again tonight, when Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson takes to the podium, leading into the big speeches of the evening. In a sunny downtown Chicago, John Mercure, WTMJ News.
Getting the vote from Generation Z. The DNC featured a youth council meeting yesterday to encourage voting among young adults ages 18 to 29. 27-year-old Trevor Young from Racine tells TMJ4 this is his second convention as a delegate.
2020 obviously was the COVID convention, so I watched a lot of TV. But here we're on the floor, we're shaking hands, giving each other big hugs, celebrating our candidates, and the energy is unmatched.
17% of Democratic votes in the 2020 election came from young voters.
A rite of passage today at Marquette University. It is move-in day. Marquette senior Jack Lynch tells TMJ4 about his favorite part of volunteering for this.
I remember move-in day myself, and I remember being very excited and also very nervous, and obviously it's a lot of emotions at the same time. So it's cool to kind of be there and get to, experience other people going through that for the first time again.
Make sure to watch for street closures in downtown Milwaukee on 13th, 17th, and 18th between Wells and Wisconsin.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, approaching 11:34.
David Nason of The Fix-It Show here with my friend Chris Mancuso of Accurate Basement Repair.
Hey, David, did you know it's been the third wettest spring here in Milwaukee, like since 1870?
Seriously? Tell us more.
Well, it's a great time to get down in that basement and take the smell test. If it smells musty, take a flashlight, take a look around, see what you have.
As a home inspector, I know firsthand, do not procrastinate. Have your basement looked at ASAP or visit AccurateBasementRepair.com because they're not just good, they're accurate.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. Want to send you to the Hounds and Tap in Menominee Falls. If you got a dog, you're a dog lover, you want to hang out with your dog, you can do it. They got a beautiful indoor-outdoor tavern at the Hounds and Taps right off Silver Spring. Catch a game, catch some food from a food truck, maybe a nice Wisconsin beverage. There you go. You're going to have yourself a good day or night at the Hounds and Tap in Menominee Falls. They are a full-service doggy everything facility. Boarding, grooming services. How convenient is that? And doggy daycare, all right there for you in this 12,000-square-foot facility. It's fun, it's happy, it's clean, it is safe. The people there truly love dogs, and you can see it. You can tell. The pups seem pretty happy as well. Our dog Knight loves it. At the Hounds and Tap, check them out. Every Sunday is a family day. They've got food trucks, bingo, fundraisers, all sorts of good things happening at the Hounds and Tap in Menominee Falls.
Do you work downtown? Milwaukee Downtown is bringing back the food, fun, and camaraderie. Downtown Employee Appreciation Week is back, August 19th through the 23rd, to reward the hardest working crew around. Get the scoop on free lunches, office challenge games, after-hours socials, and plenty of other perks. Visit iworkdowntownmke.com for a complete schedule of events. See you downtown.
I think one of the things that patients don't realize is that when they get a joint replacement, that's not a lifetime treatment option. And they're probably, if they are a younger patient, signing up for multiple surgeries down the road.
As a physician and medical director for QC Kinetics, Dr. Caravelli's seen a pattern of trending joint pain. Prolonged medication, steroids, then surgery, possibly another surgery.
So a lot of our patients are trying to avoid or put off surgery, and this is the treatment that can help them do that.
QC Kinetics extracts your body's healing substances, concentrates them back into your aching joints to help heal and restore those areas, providing lasting relief.
Oh, I love being able to tell my patients, before we do this surgery, let's try another option. Let's see if this is right for you, because now they might not have to have surgery at all.
Call today for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. You've got the Brewers and Cardinals tonight. It is Game 2 of a 3-game series from St. Louis. Brewers taking the opener. They've now won 6 straight games. Coverage of tonight's game gets underway following the 6 o'clock news. Meanwhile, the Packers, with the next padded practice scheduled for Thursday, they welcome in the Baltimore Ravens for that practice. A joint practice in advance of Saturday's game against the Ravens Saturday afternoon. The preseason wraps up for the Packers with a noon kick.
Let's go ahead right now and get an update on the roads as we approach the noon hour here. There's really only one problem spot, and I'm trying to take a peek at the cameras to see if I can actually see what's going on here. It's at 4143, close to 27th Street. There's some debris in the road. 4143 East at 4194 South. You can expect some lane closures due to debris. And as I am taking a peek at the cameras here, I see like one kind of big black thing. Yep, nope. That indeed is a problem. So I can't tell exactly what it is, but the bottom line is traffic will be moving along slowly just to make sure nobody goes over that.
Is it a ladder?
It is not a ladder. It's
is it
not
a dog?
That big. I know. Is this a guessing game?
Is it a dog with a ladder?
Oh, gosh. No, Greg. Don't say, is it a dog? Gosh, it's not an animal. Thank goodness. I can't tell what it is because the cameras are too blurry. We need like some HD cameras with 511 WI. We don't have... Oh, gosh. Somebody just hit it. See? I knew that was going to happen. Oh, it actually looks green now. It looks green. Oh, see, this is where the problem comes in, though, because now we've got one car that basically just stopped pretty much in the middle of the highway to not run over whatever the heck this thing is.
Is it on fire?
No, it is not on fire. But this is a problem. This is a problem because you've got people kind of making a curve too, and you've got a semi that's right there. So bottom line, not a good situation right now. 4143, close to 27th Street. There is some debris in the road. and it's causing some issues. So we've got to get people out there to clean it up.
Traffic is sponsored by Hiller Ford, a family-owned dealership on Highway 100 in Franklin.
Get 0.9% financing plus a $2,000 factory rebate on 2024 F-150s, Explorers, Edges, and Escapes from Hiller Ford.
Well, hopefully the weather's more pleasant than your traffic today in a certain segment of our listening area and driving area. Beautiful day today. Expect sunny skies and a high of about 77 degrees. Put it on repeat tomorrow. It's going to be gorgeous outside. Absolutely beautiful. Get out and enjoy it. And we'll have a high of 77 under mostly sunny skies. 80 your high on Friday with partly cloudy conditions. It is 70 degrees in Milwaukee at 11:39. What are you watching now over there? What do you got? Do you have a live traffic cam on your phone?
I'm trying to take video just in case.
Oh, you're videoing your phone.
This is a problem.
Okay.
We got to get somebody out there to get that debris because it's big debris.
Hey, next traffic update coming up in about 5 minutes. All right, so we're both music fans here on the program.
Definitely.
And music is a part of the conventions. RNC featured Kid Rock, and there was like a house band that played just sort of in those intermediate areas where there was nobody on stage or there was some sort of break. And they did a really good job, right? Playing the hits. Well, a very innovative approach to the DNC delegate roll call last night. You essentially had a walk-up song for every state. So in most cases, the music selected strongly connected to the state. So either the song or the artist or both. Now, if you're looking at a rundown and you're not from the state of Wisconsin, you're probably trying to figure out, well, what in the world? Why is Jump Around's House of Pain?
I feel like a lot of people are starting to know, though, even outside of Wisconsin.
I think so,
Not
right?
everybody, for sure.
Synonymous, of course, with the Wisconsin Badgers. And, you know, it was playing House of Pain as Governor Tony Evers addressed the crowd in attendance.
Jazz as hell to announce that Wisconsin cast one vote present and 94 votes were for, who are we at? Got me going here.
Okay, Tony. Well, never mind that. Never mind the mess of what Tony Evers did last night. But the music, you could hear it in the background. That's kind of what it sounded like as a representative for the delegation announced who they were behind.
We will have to talk about at some point, though, more on Governor Tony Evers.
Well, you know, the side note to that is it was such a mess. Whoever had the responsibility to hit the next song was very fired up to hit Wyoming.
Like, oh, let's do it.
Yeah, so this is Wyoming. Not exactly sure the connection between the Black Eyed Peas and Wyoming, right? Some connections a little stronger than others, but this is one of those you look at and say, oh, okay, all right, Wyoming.
It's a classic party hit, so some people are just saying, you know what, that's a good one to close it out on. Other people are guessing that maybe it's reiterating that the party is fully standing behind the recently appointed candidate. Seems like they've got a good feeling about Kamala Harris.
Okay, well, we're guessing on the connection there. Some connections much more obvious than others.
Working 9 to 5, what a way to make a living.
Any guesses on the state? Shouldn't be too hard to figure out.
Down in the South. Is that Dolly in Tennessee?
Absolutely. And this made a lot of sense for New Jersey. It was our bump back song. In case you wanted a little bit more Dolly. Yeah, so Bruce Springsteen, this was for the group visiting from New Jersey. Now, Springsteen famously played in Madison during a John Kerry rally back in the day. And he was actually at a house party. Like, he was just drinking beers out of a house cup at a house party right off Mifflin Street after performing at a John Kerry rally. This is years ago, but vivid memories. And if you were at UW-Madison during that time, pretty cool if you're on a balcony partying with the boss.
That's a good memory. And the boss is from New Jersey.
Yes. Yep. So very strong connection there. The RNC featured Detroit's Kid Rock. The DNC featured another Michigan native.
Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh, there goes gravity. Choke. He's so mad, but he won't give up.
Yeah, they opted for Eminem. You didn't think Kid Rock was going to make a dual appearance at the conventions this year, did you?
The funny thing about songs like this is then you have some of the, senior people in the audience just kind of like trying to smile, kind of bobbing the heads, like
awkward
you see
dancing.
Nancy Pelosi like
right.
It was kind of amusing to watch.
Only one state had 2 songs, to my knowledge, and from the same artist, by the way. That was Minnesota. Any guesses on the artist?
Oh, gotta be Prince.
Don't have to be rich to be my girl. You don't have to be cool to rule my world. Ain't no particular sign I'm more compatible with. I just want your extra time and your kiss.
Yeah, Prince had the duo. I thought that was kind of interesting. Maybe there's a Tim Walz in there. I'll give you 2 songs,
I was
Minnesota.
going to say, was it just because the speeches were too long? I mean, some states had one person speak, other states had 2, and in some cases 3. Was that what the deal was?
Yeah, I don't know the rhythm there specifically, but Prince famously is from Minnesota. I don't think this artist is from North Dakota. But that was the song, Alicia Keys, Girl on Fire. That she's not from North Dakota, she's from New York. But nonetheless.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the connection is with this one. But it's a strong choice as far as song selection.
Very strong, no doubt about that. Perhaps the most curious song choice of the night goes to South Carolina.
Fellas, I'm ready to get up and do my thing. I want to get into it, man, you know. Like a sex machine, man. Moving, doing it, you know. Can I count it off? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, did I miss something? So James Brown is from South Carolina. I get that.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Right, but think about James Brown. Think about his songs. Think about his best songs. Get Up Sex Machine was not on my bingo card. I don't know, just maybe I thought this would have been a more logical choice.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I give you that.
Guys, I think we got to go up with Get Up Sex Machine, right?
I just would love to know who actually picked this. You were thinking that they reached out to the states, and I'm thinking, I don't know that they took the time to do that and bothered other people. I feel like there's not enough time for that. Especially because the other thing was this planned if it was going to be Biden, or did they make this change that quickly, which is totally possible. See, I don't think they reached out to the states. I think they just got a couple people together. It might have even been the interns. You know what? Here's a fun list. Here's what you have to do. Get back to us in 24 hours, all the states.
Let it rip. Well, social media turned into this like song delegation guessing game last night. Eventually, there was a Spotify playlist, which I thought was interesting. One state really upped the ante. Instead of a DJ spinning the tune, there was actually a live performance. No, that's what people are speculating
I was going to say.
Tonight.
I missed that one.
People are thinking that Taylor could be on the stage tonight or somewhere involved. Maybe it'll be on Thursday. But no, the live performance from last night was from a different guy, Little John.
Georgia, how do you cast your vote?
Yeah! Ladies and gentlemen, we are here tonight to officially nominate Kamala Harris for president. Bob, get loud, another round of shots. DNC, turn out for what?
Now that was wild. That was totally unexpected. One of the big surprises of the night. Even Karen Travers, when we asked her, she didn't know about that.
Well, what was interesting is that Lil Jon was not on stage. He just emerged from the delegation of Nevada, right? I mean, he's like, just picture him just like walking out of the concourse at Fiserv Forum past everybody who was seated in section 10 whatever.
Well, and the people like next to him were like, oh, what do we have going on here?
You want to see some awkward white people dance. You just want to watch them dance to Lil Jon, right? That's kind of what was happening. But yes, all the speculation today is that Beyonce or maybe both, or Taylor have a presence at the DNC. But certainly music is part of the deal at the DNC. And yes, if you want to search for a playlist, there's plenty more songs, some great ones, some head scratchers. But music was part of the night last night. It was clever.
I'll tell you what, I have never honestly wanted to watch a roll call. I don't think I have ever actually sat down and watched a roll call. And I didn't plan to last night, but all of a sudden I turned it on and I was like, oh, well, this is interesting. As you talked about us both being big music fans. I love music and I love all kinds of genres. So I sat down and I watched. I can't remember which state I started on, but I watched the rest of the thing because it was like a mini concert. It was a blast. So forget Republican, Democrat, Independent. It was just a show. And it was probably the only roll call that I know of that wasn't like just a bore, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
usually
it had some flavor to it.
Just boring. It's just a procedural thing. It's not usually exciting on TV. But it did create some awkward moments as well. You know, some of the awkward dancing and also some of the people like yelling over the music. Some of that was awkward. And also, I mean, a lot of times it was a great message, but sometimes it was kind of a sad message. So that I thought, okay, well, there were a couple awkward moments where it was like a really fun song, and then the person who was speaking from a certain state had a sad message. So it didn't work perfectly, but man, did it work well. And it was unique and something different. And for the most part, people enjoyed it, though I did hear, and actually even from one of my friends, I had sent out a message to my girlfriends. I said, wow, this roll call, I've never seen anything like it before. And one of my friends said, I do find it like a little too much and too loud. And I was surprised because she goes to concerts all the time. So I like to, we kind of joke that we're inching towards 50. Nobody likes to say it. We're not close. But I mean, 50 is the next one. So I just wrote hashtag inching. Getting old there, Jared. Getting old.
Good stuff. Yes, music certainly front and center last night, as was Governor Tony Evers. We'll get into that a little later in the show. It's 11:49 on WTMJ.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Chief Anti-Procrastination Officer Brian Wickert. Most homeowners and home shoppers have heard the Federal Reserve will cut rates by 0.25% in mid-September. Well, I have great news. When it comes to mortgage rates, it's like the cut has already happened. That's how markets work, and it means there's no reason to wait to either start or resume your home search because most 30-year fixed-rate loan scenarios will now have a rate and APR that starts with the number 6 instead of 7 point something. The already lower mortgage rates also mean the refi window of opportunity is open for folks who bought their homes earlier this year or late last year with a rate in the mid to high 7s. If you can save $1,000 a year in payments and spend less than that in refi loan cost, do it. AccuNet can also typically offer a genuine no loan cost refi, which makes lowering your payment a genuine no-brainer. Don't wait. Click on the blue button today for a no-pressure refi checkup or to get started with your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval. That's ACCUNET.com.
Flooring, carpeting, bath, or kitchen remodeling. Adair is the name Milwaukee has trusted for 65 years. This is Rob Adair. Ready to remodel? Give us a call, 761-3660. Get personal care from Adair, South 27th in Franklin.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason featuring this week's guests, Loyal Family Renovations, and Trees on the Move. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. Get at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. Is it time to replace the siding at your house? First off, you got to go to Tri-County Contracting. You can hit up their showroom in New Berlin to check out the vinyl siding and the LP Smart Side they have on display. They'll help you find that siding and the color that you will love. And if you're worried about price, don't forget about the 30-year no-faded paint warranty. Transform your house and increase the value. Worry-free roofing, siding, and windows. Tri-County Contracting, WI.com.
Here's a penny for your thoughts. There's about 11,000 tire-related crashes every year.
Mostly due to driving around on underinflated, beat-up, worn-out tires with low tread.
A couple of clicks at richlawns.com will get you scheduled for a free tire tread test.
But if you're pressed for time, there's an old trick we use in the tire industry that'll tell you if you need tires.
And that's free, too.
My dad showed me, who learned it from his dad, who learned it from someone else way back in 1964.
Ah, yes. The old penny test.
Yep, just place a penny head first.
As in upside down.
Into the groove of your tire. Now, if you can see the top of Lincoln's head, you're due for tires.
And hey, if the free penny test frazzles you, book an appointment at richlawns.com.
If your tires are good,
no harm, no foul, because it won't cost you a penny. Be safe, buckle up, and hang. Always make sure you've got good tread on your tires. I'm Brett Matchke with Rich Lawns. You're
due for service.
Such a refreshing change. Rich Lawns.
We're going to check in with John Mercure coming up at about 12:35. John also last week working on a very powerful story about a prominent local restaurant owner who is giving back to Children's Wisconsin after the hospital saved his baby daughter's life. John explains right here.
August 26, 2013 was an amazing day for Gino and Leanne Fazzari. Their beautiful daughter, Viviana Lucia, came into the world. Life was good. She seemed healthy and happy. The family settled into a routine. 5 days later, Gino kissed Leanne goodbye and headed to his restaurant, the Calderon Club. He got to work and a feeling he had never experienced settled over him.
Something just told me to turn right back around and go home. And I couldn't for the life of me tell you what that was. Got home, walked in the door, and I saw Leanne on the couch with the baby in her arms.
He's looking at Viviana, and he's like, Leanne, she's blue. Just get her in the car seat. Let's go.
Something told me I had to get her to Children's Hospital. And so never occurred to me to call an ambulance. Never occurred to me. It was just get everybody in the car, Suburban, and let's go.
We pull up to Children's. Gino dropped me at the front door, and I walked in with the car seat. And at that time, there was a nurse coming out, and she looked in the car seat, and she just grabbed it and started running with it.
Molly Basil was working in the Children's ER that afternoon.
Took the baby out of the car seat, called a code, and when you call a code in the ER, everything kind of steps to the next level. She looked blue, kind of a grayish color and blue, meaning she wasn't getting any oxygen.
Leanne is a nurse and knew that something was very wrong with her baby girl. Gino parked their truck, ran into the ER, and was stunned at what he saw.
When those doors opened and I saw what was going on, I said, well, that can't be my daughter. There's no way that can be my daughter because that girl is not breathing.
It was almost surreal, like just to have to stand there and watch it and not be able to do anything.
As the children's team worked frantically, Gino and Leanne were allowed to stay in the room. Basil remembers it like it was yesterday.
She's just a little newborn and not breathing on her own. It doesn't get any more serious than that. She's blue. She's not breathing. There's really no worse situation than that.
The seconds felt like hours.
When they were ripping her out of the car seat, putting her on the table, like getting her clothes off, I knew as a nurse what they were doing, and I couldn't believe that it was happening to our baby. They couldn't find an IV. Every bad thing that could happen was happening to her, and I had to watch it.
The Fazzaris were told that things didn't look good.
She also hadn't been baptized yet, so I was worried about that. So the minute he walked in the room, I gave him some water, and I said, you have to baptize her. And the staff were amazing. They stopped what they were doing. I mean, they still were working on her, but they let Gino baptize her.
Gino blessed his daughter, afraid that he might never hold her again, but praying that somehow she would be okay.
I just put my faith in God and said, she was at the best place that she could possibly be at in order to diagnose and treat what was wrong with her.
Viviana didn't breathe for 2 minutes. She was without oxygen for 2 full minutes before being resuscitated.
In a brand new baby, it just, it hits differently. They're just so fragile, and the fact that we were able to stabilize her is nothing short of a miracle.
She was stabilized, but still very much in danger.
The first 2 nights, they would have meetings with us and say, she's probably not going to make it. She's probably not going to make it.
What they had let us know was not to get our hopes up that she may not make it, and if she does, she may, more than likely have permanent damage.
Little Viviana spent 27 nights in the Children's Neonatal Intensive Care Unit, one of the best in the world. Leanne slept at the hospital all 27 nights. Eventually, Viviana did wake up.
God worked a miracle there, and I've heard that many times from the staff at Children's. But he used Children's to work that miracle.
Viviana had chylothorax, a condition where the milk she was drinking was leaking into her chest cavity, slowly suffocating her. She's now made a full recovery.
That facility, that hospital, Children's was able to save our daughter's life.
Viviana's a healthy, energetic 10-year-old girl.
She's a beautiful, young, thriving 10-year-old, and she is just perfect in every way.
To thank Children's Wisconsin, the Fazzaris regularly brought food and gifts to the staff. As Viviana thrived, they wanted to do more. A few years ago, they launched Do Good with Food with 3 local restaurants. On Thursday, 40 Milwaukee restaurants will donate part of their profits to Children's Wisconsin.
The work they do is amazing, saves lives every day.
John Merkier, WTMJ News.
Welcome to another episode of Analysis, man.
From Buck superstar Giannis.
And then I'm going to Chris at the time.
What did coach mean? What do you...
And even Green Bay QB Jordan Love. There's only one call for these conversations.
I've never been in a Lambo, and I have to, right? What is this Lambo league?
Tune in to the Thanalysis Show, presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. Find it today on Apple, Spotify, and anywhere you get podcasts.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. Excited to get our football shows rolling from Potawatomi Sportsbook in a couple of weeks. Looking forward to that. Want to see you there as well. If you've not checked out the Sportsbook, it's absolutely incredible. It's 2 levels. It's complete with a great restaurant, a good bar as well, and a 2,000-square-foot video wall for you to watch the game or multiple games. Whatever event you're looking to watch, you're going to see it at Potawatomi Sportsbook. Check out all that's new inside Potawatomi Casino Hotel. The restaurants are great. If you want to do the fine dining thing, if you want more food from a food truck, they've got a 24-hour coffee place as well. That's fantastic. It's Potawatomi Casino Hotel in Milwaukee. Help usher in a new era of sports betting at Potawatomi Sportsbook.
And now for the Pella Play-by-Play, I'm Jeff Lettering alongside Gina Della from Pella.
Thanks, Jeff. How do you say welcome?
With a new entry door from Pella.
Say it with color.
Like baseball bat oak or foul pole yellow?
Say it with class.
Like following players' unwritten baseball rules.
With clarity.
Like a no-doubter shot off the scoreboard.
And with this great deal, 0% interest for up to 60 months with no money down and equal payments.
That's the ball game. A Pella walk-off.
Schedule your free in-home consultation at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. See 31/2024.
I know you have a great dog, right? But you know there's room for improvement. At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we can help. Our attention-based training system uses modern technology to help you better communicate with your dog, even in high distraction. When you schedule a free consultation with us, you will have the opportunity to see our training in action and meet for yourself our happy dogs off leash and under control. Contact Sit Means Sit today at 262-361-3641 or find us on the web at sitmeansitwaukesha.com to schedule your free consultation so you can have a happy, confident, and obedient dog.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Gorgeous new roofs, showstopper siding, or classic brick and stonework. How about modern windows and regal doors that'll make your chin hit the floor? To a lot of people, having these things can really make them enjoy where they live. It makes them proud. But there's always one thing standing in the way. How do I make that happen? At Semperfi Roofing and Exteriors, we have excellent financing options for most people in most situations. 12 months, no interest, no payments, and exceptional rates for long-term loans that will beat your bank with no additional fees or hidden costs. You can go to SemperfiRoofing.com to apply for your pre-approval today. We want to make any project affordable to almost any person, and we've gone out of our way to find partners that can help make it happen for you. This is Brad Youngbluth with Semperfi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semperfi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semperfi.
Ask about our finance options.
Protect mom's assets, protect your assets. Call Kraus Estate Planning, estateplanningpeople.com.
I was stuffed up. It was almost like someone put a clothespin over my nose. As an athlete, it did affect my performance. And as I got older, the congestion and poor sleep really took their toll.
Mike's a lifetime athlete. After hearing about Advent, he felt he could finally find a solution to his breathing triangle problems.
With my congestion, the kind of sleep I was getting wasn't allowing me to function the way I wanted to.
When your nose isn't working like it should be, it's going to negatively affect your sleep. And then you really can't be at your best at anything that you're doing.
It's been about 5 years since coming to Advent, and what balloon sinuplasty did for my quality of life, that step I took was one of the best decisions I've ever made.
Balloon sinuplasty can help solve your breathing triangle problems, which will help you sleep better, and that's going to help you live a better quality of life.
Unlock your potential. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because when you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary.
Breaking news as it happens. Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
This is Wisconsin's Midday News. I'm Greg Matzik. It's Wednesday, August 21st. Your top story, Day 3 underway at the DNC.
I'm Jessica Ty. Another city drops the drop box.
Mostly sunny, pleasant, beautiful today, a high of 76. Clear tonight, a low of 50. Thursday, mostly sunny, beautiful, and a high of 77. 71 degrees in Milwaukee at 12:03 from the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom. Decision, Wisconsin. Day 3 of the DNC is underway from Chicago.
This is Cermak McCormick Place.
While the official theme for Day 3 of the DNC is a fight for our freedoms,
According to Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear during the press briefing, the unofficial theme today is Walls Wednesday. The Minnesota governor will officially accept the party's nomination as vice presidential running mate to Kamala Harris. Also speaking this evening will include Nancy Pelosi and former President Bill Clinton. At McCormick Place in Chicago, Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
And some local flavor on the stage tonight. Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson will address delegates this evening.
No drop boxes in Brookfield. The city of Brookfield is rejecting ballot drop boxes this election season. In the past, the suburb used the utility payment drop box to collect ballots. Brookfield is the second community in Waukesha County to eliminate drop boxes. New Berlin made a similar decision just last month.
A bicyclist dies in downtown Oconomowoc after being struck by a train.
The deadly incident happened Tuesday afternoon at the railroad crossing on South Silver Lake Street. In a statement, Amtrak says the cyclist had been obstructing the tracks before they were struck. The Borealis passenger train heading to St. Paul was delayed for about 3 hours, and no one on the train was hurt. The incident was the second cyclist death involving Oconomowoc Tuesday. 71-year-old Susan Cass from the city was killed after a crash with a car in Minocqua earlier in the day. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
New rules are changing the way realtors get paid. Katie Rinka with Keller Williams tells WTMJ's The Upswing there's no need to panic when working with a realtor.
The more communication you can have with a buyer at that initial buyer meeting or at an open house, the better, right? There's no need to doom and gloom or scare anybody. You have an honest conversation of how commission will be paid, and there are options now.
Sellers used to be fully responsible for commissions to both the buyers and sellers agents. Now buyers are part of those negotiations.
Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Things starting to turn around this afternoon. The Dow up about 28 points at 40,862. NASDAQ up about 55 points at 17,870. And the S&P 500 up about 16 points at 5612. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, and Annex Ignite. It's financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Sounding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 12:06.
As the kiddos get ready to get back to school, you can find really great back-to-school savings at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. School supplies and some surprisingly cool clothing, too. And teachers, you get an additional discount. Get the best back-to-school bargains at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
Ooh, you're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
It's time for the 2024 MBA Parade of Homes, presented by Nuns. See 14 new homes by 14 MBA builders in 2 locations, Fox River Falls in Menominee Falls and Autumn Trace in New Berlin. See the latest new home designs, grand finishes, and cutting-edge features in convenient subdivision locations that offer exciting opportunities to build your dream home. Don't miss the Metropolitan Builders Association's Parade of Homes, August 10th through September 2nd. For tickets and hours, visit mbaparadeofhomes.com today.
Ladies and gentlemen, Penny Mustard is proud to present the world's most average sectional.
Okay, let us explain.
The Beck sectional at Penny Mustard was designed to be average.
Average in size, that is.
The fact is, not everyone can accommodate a massive sectional sofa.
That's why we designed the Beck sectional.
It can fit your entire family without filling up the entire room.
It has the look, feel, and confidence of a giant oversized sectional.
But it fits in the average home.
Made in the Midwest with high resiliency foam cushions.
And hundreds of kid and pet friendly fabric and leather options.
So if you want a standard size sofa,
or if you have a small scale space,
Beck's is the average sectional of your dreams.
You know, being average is special.
Yeah?
At least that's what my parents always told me.
Come try the Beck sectional, starting at $36.55 at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
Better versions of what people want.
Penny Mustard Furnishing.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Brewers on a roll, having won 6 straight games, looking to make it 7 tonight against the Cardinals. Coverage gets underway following the 6 o'clock news. Brewers own the largest division lead in all of baseball at 11.5 games. One more preseason game for the Packers and one more joint practice. The Ravens visit Green Bay tomorrow, staying through Saturday afternoon's game. Packers' initial roster is due to the league August 27th, and Jason Wilde will join us live from Green Bay coming up at about 12:15.
Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. This traffic report, not nearly as exhilarating as that one during the last hour.
Good.
Which is a good thing for everybody driving right now. 4143 east at 4194 south. There's some debris in the road. I can't tell exactly what it is. I'm starting to think it's like a recycling bin, maybe. Are some of the recycling bins green these days?
Depends where you live.
See,
Combination of green, blue, and black.
We recycle just with paper bags. But so I'm thinking it might be that. But the bottom line is 4143 east at 4194 south. There's something out there, and it was in the middle of the highway at some point, which causes a major issue. I mean, I watched one car hit it, but it's off to the side. I don't think anybody actually pushed it off to the side. I think it just got there with all the traffic at some point that was going through. But it's still out there, so at some point, it's going to have to be cleaned up, and there will be some closures because of that, but not yet. And traffic is moving along okay because it's now not in the middle of the highway.
Kind of a chilly start to the day, but beautiful now. Mostly sunny, gorgeous, pleasant day, a high of 76 degrees. 50 your overnight low. Mostly sunny on Thursday, a high of 77. Warming up a little bit Friday, partly cloudy with a high of 80. 71 degrees in Milwaukee at 12:10.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
Wednesday edition of Wisconsin's Midday News. Lots of stuff happening here locally and nationally, and we are on top of it. Greg and Jessica with you till 1 o'clock. Some big stories that we are following as we flip to the noon hour.
It's now at noon on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Donald Trump resumes outdoor rallies today for the first time since the assassination attempt in July. But now he'll be surrounded by bulletproof glass at the podium. Trump is on the campaign trail today with Senator J.D. Vance. ABC's Rachel Scott is looking ahead.
Today he'll be out in North Carolina with his running mate Senator J.D. Vance, focused on national security. Polls show that he does have an advantage on Kamala Harris on most of those issues, but she is performing better than President Biden did.
Trump's rally this afternoon is at an aviation museum in Asheboro, North Carolina.
Day 3 of the DNC and a hint of Wisconsin on the stage. Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson among those who will be on it tonight. He joined Wisconsin's Midday News and revealed his role. The mayor says it's not a long speech, but he's going to soak it all in.
But I'm still very grateful to have the opportunity to be on that stage, and it's going to be one of the things that I remember for the rest of my life, I'm sure.
Find out what Mayor Cavalier's speech will be and will not be coming up at 12:45.
Startling new findings on baby food. Parents, take note on this one. 60% of infant and toddler foods fail to meet nutritional recommendations, according to new research just published today in a scientific journal. Among all products tested, 70% failed to meet protein requirements, and 44% exceeded total sugar requirements. 1 in 5 contained too much salt. So bottom line here, 2/3 of the baby food in our grocery stores considered unhealthy.
The sugar one doesn't surprise me. Even though it's all natural, it's got to be some level of preservatives in there to kind of make it what it is. I remember right when our daughters were born, we tried making our own baby food. We had a little baby food maker kind of thing.
Yep. And it's kind of fun in the beginning, right?
Oh, yeah. Then it just gets to be a matter of convenience and time. But you're also cognizant of health and what the first things you're introducing to your child's mouth. They always said, don't start with the sweet stuff, because then they'll never eat the stuff that's not so sweet.
There you go.
That was one of our tips. But pureed strawberries were common in the Matzik household.
I mean, I don't think it's a shocker that some of the baby food in our grocery stores is not healthy, but 60%
that's high, yeah.
fail to meet nutritional recommendations. Yeah, that's too high.
Not good at all. 12:12 on WTMJ. John Mercure is going to join us from the DNC in Chicago coming up at about 12:35. We go north to Green Bay with the latest on the Packers. Just one preseason game left. We're about a week away from cutdown day. And why was Matt LaFleur so perturbed at the start of his conversation with the media yesterday? Or was he? Jason Wilde joins us after this. It's 12:13 on WTMJ.
Hey, WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here, reminding you to subscribe to the Wisconsin's Morning News Podcast. We update it every day with every interview, every segment, every bit we do on the show.
Wait, we don't do bits on the show.
We're thrilled to have the one and only Will Pounder.
I don't know what that means.
Labeled or known as being a big baguette.
All right, maybe we do some bits.
Be sure you subscribe to the Wisconsin's Morning News Podcast, presented by Tri-County Contracting.
Hey, it's getting to be about that time, right? Lunch? Maybe you're already thinking ahead to dinner. Whatever the case, if you make it a Palermo's day or night, you're going to be happy about that. I can promise you, Wisconsin's hometown pizza is Palermo's, made proudly in the state of Wisconsin. They've been doing it right, celebrating its 60th anniversary. 60 years of making great tasting frozen pizzas here in the state of Wisconsin and innovating along the way, right? It's not just one style here. There are multiple. If you like a thin crust, go with the Primo Thin. If you're looking for the breakfast pizza, they got that too. Overflowing with toppings, there you go. With Screamin' Sicilian, they've got a slice for every appetite. Here's the best idea. Go to the store, pick up a few different varieties, put one in the oven tonight, maybe build a little rating card. What do you like the best? Palermo's, Wisconsin's hometown pizza.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we can get you the farm supplies you need because we get you. Right now, it's our summer farm sale, which means unbeatable prices on trusted brands. Like 3M Digital WorkTunes Hearing Protection, $49.99. Save up to $50 on select Milwaukee hand trucks, $99.99. And Shepherd brand wheels, casters, and floor protection, 20% off. Plus, we've been working with our brand partners to get prices down. So shop our new, lower everyday prices throughout the store at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Gorgeous day today. Soak it up here. Beautiful sun, very pleasant conditions. A high of 77 today inland, slightly cooler near the lake. Cool tonight and an overnight low of 50 degrees. Sun is back in full force tomorrow with a high of 77 degrees. We warm up a touch more on Friday with a high of 80. It is 71 in Milwaukee at 12:15. This is not one of the songs on the DNC roll call that I know of from yesterday.
Seems like it could have been, though.
But it could have been. I don't know, maybe Maine? Were you born to be wild in Maine? Oh, the Spotify guessing game was going on.
I mean, they had such a wide variety.
They definitely did. There's no doubt about that. So the Packers are back from Denver, where things didn't go very well overall. So I was kind of curious. Like, will Matt LaFleur be a little...
2 points, right? 2?
Yeah. My contention is you'd rather have 0 than 2, but that's just me. 2 almost seems like it's laughable. 0, I don't know. There's just maybe something about that I'm kind of hung up on. But my wonder is, would Matt LaFleur be a little touchy or edgy following kind of an off week in Denver? Well, here's how he started his press conference yesterday, or it was sort of midstream.
Just to show you that they can handle.
How many times are you going to come to my press conference late? We got a rule in the team meeting. You don't interrupt the meeting. Sit your butt outside.
Okay. He was not talking to me. I was not there. He was not talking to Jason Wilde, though I believe he was there. But then he had this to say.
Just kidding. I tried to do my best to play that off, but probably wasn't very good. Was it?
It seemed like he had people going.
See, I don't know why I thought I heard it might have been Jason. And they have a good relationship?
Well, let's bring him in.
The man.
They, of course, do. Jason Wilde joins us from Green Bay. Jason, set us straight on Matt LaFleur's hijinks from yesterday.
Oh, yeah, it was definitely me.
Okay.
It was absolutely me.
So what went down?
We do have a great working relationship. All right, so the backstory, just for the folks who thought he was legitimately angry, give him his credit. He is a better actor than he seems to be. And if you've seen some of his Bell and Health commercials, he does a nice job on those.
Oh, that's true.
So they have a Greg knows this. They have a little green room off the side of the media auditorium where the coaches gather before their respective press conferences, or if it's just LaFleur that day, it's just him and the PR director. And so he actually was running ahead of schedule yesterday, which is not a frequent occurrence, let's be honest. And so he got down there at 1:46. And he said to Jason Wallers, their PR director, hey, well, can I go early? And Wallers is like, no, these guys, these guys, they get here right before you start. So you can't start at 1:46. So he told Jason Wallers, if anybody comes in late, I'm going to light them up. So this was totally premeditated. I swear I walked in at 1:49 in 45 seconds. But nevertheless, he had already started. And at first I thought, okay, he's just messing with me. And then when he kept going and he got to the point where he said, get your butt out in the hall, I was like, oh, no, he's serious. And then much to Tausch's disappointment, I think Tausch was hoping that he would hold that moment for another second or two to try and force me to actually stand up and start to head for the exit. He quickly said, no, I'm just kidding. And we were able to continue. But, yeah, he got me good. I got by the head coach.
Gave everybody a good laugh.
Except Jason at the time.
Except Jason. True.
Well, yes, that's true. I did laugh afterward. But I think that you make a good point, Jessica. I thought it really kind of broke the tension. Not that we were necessarily as reporters going to feel tension, but like Greg pointed out, when you lose 27-2, you're not in a great mood. And frankly, during that press conference yesterday, he acknowledged that he let his frustration get the best of him in his post-game comments. He basically questioned the effort that his players had put forth in the game. And I firmly believed, while I listened to him say that on Sunday night, he's going to regret saying that. He's going to look at the film and say, these are guys that are trying to stay in the league. They were not failing to play hard. And, a few questions after my scolding, he acknowledged exactly that. He said, sometimes I should say less to you guys after games because our guys played hard. They showed the grit and the effort and the strain that we want. So, I think it allowed him not only to break the tension with his zinger of me, but also kind of set the stage for him admitting that he was wrong, which not all NFL coaches are willing to do.
So, Jason, just after further review of what happened in Denver, because something very similar will happen in Green Bay beginning tomorrow. The Ravens come to town, joint practice, and then you've got the game on Saturday. It's a kind of an oddball noon kickoff for a preseason game. What do you think he's most bothered by? 27-2 losing to Denver, or what happened in the joint practice when his frontline players were on the field?
Yeah, yes is the answer. I mean, he's obviously bothered by both. Like even if you allow for the game to be okay, we didn't play our first string guys. I expected our backups to have a tough time, and they did. I think he was frustrated that then once the field had been leveled and it was backups versus backups, the Packers still struggled, right? So that bothered him. But to your point, I think it was the joint practice that ticked him off far more. That was ones versus ones. The defense, which had been kind of eating the Packers' number one offense's lunch more often than not, had some trouble with Bo Nix and the Broncos. And then the Packers' offense, which has struggled throughout camp against their number one defense, struggled again against Denver's number one defense in that practice. So I think that probably bothered him more. And so I think, I definitely think he is looking at tomorrow's practice with the Ravens, and he's been looking at it since Sunday night saying, I got to take a different approach with these guys going into this joint practice and into this game.
Okay, so we've got cut down day less than a week now, 27th. So that's coming up on Tuesday. Anything that's going to be surprising there, or any positions where it's really tight? I know I've kind of been asking you about the kicker spot. Anything new there?
Yeah, both guys have had their problems. So I suppose it's not out of the realm of possibility that the two leaders in the clubhouse don't get chosen, and neither does the third guy, Alex Hale, who we've taken to calling the skipper after Alan Hale, who was the actor who played the skipper on Gilligan's Island. But I feel like that's a really old person reference. So there's no way Alex Hale, who is from Australia, is going to get that reference. So we need to come up with a different nickname for him. But I think they may end up, the kicker that may be their kicker might not be with the team right now. That we have to at least acknowledge that as a possibility. I also think, the biggest question mark they have offensively is who's going to back up their two tackles, because no offensive line gets through an entire season without struggling with injuries. It is very rare. And so they have to figure out if they have anybody that they trust to protect Jordan Love outside of their starting five. And I'm not sure anybody has clearly said, hey, you can trust me if one of our guys go down. So that is another area of concern with roster cuts coming.
Another thing I wanted to bring into focus, Jason, here is the running back position, right? Packers have a rookie who they drafted in the 3rd round. He's injured, not practicing right now. That's not great news. We didn't see A.J. Dillon at all last week, which I'm guessing is probably good news for A.J. Dillon, a more proven commodity. And Josh Jacobs, we haven't seen a lot of him, right? Just a limited opportunity on the field in preseason game number 1. He's supposed to be taking over for Aaron Jones, who was the top name on scouting reports on occasion during his time in Green Bay. So that group of people, what does it look like to you? Is it a cloudy picture?
It is, and it became cloudier yesterday and today because I thought the same thing that you just did. When they had 31 guys who were not participating in the game on Sunday night, and one of them was A.J. Dillon, I thought, well, I guess he's safe. I guess they, consider him as their clear-cut number 2 running back, so they don't have to play him, just as they sat out 4 top wide receivers and both of their top tight ends. Well, we come to find out that during the joint practice with the Broncos, A.J. Dillon sustained a stinger. So he's got a neck injury that he had a stinger late last season. He suffered it on New Year's Eve in Minnesota, missed the final regular season game, and missed both playoff games. And so that's a complicating factor because now, if he didn't play because of the injury, which is clearly the case, A, would they have played him had he been healthy? Because if they would have, that would have been an indicator that he is not safe no matter what. And B, now it complicates things further because you've got not only A.J. Dillon dealing with an injury issue, but as you mentioned, Marshawn Lloyd, the 3rd-round pick. So I don't think anybody's worried about Josh Jacobs. He's going into his 6th season. He doesn't need to be playing in preseason games. I'm sure he'll take part tomorrow in the joint practice with the Ravens. But yes, the picture is definitely muddy, and you can't just have Josh Jacobs do everything. So they've got some decisions to make and some complicating factors at that position as well.
Hey, Jason, real quick, I don't know if you've seen this yet, but you're part of this New York Post article today on Aaron Rodgers revealing why he answered question about sexuality from Packers reporter. Have you seen this?
I know about the chapter in the book. I have not seen the various stories, but I have corresponded with the quarterback because he screwed up the story.
Oh, he did? Because I was just curious. I thought people might be interested to know, that conversation that you had, but you're saying that the reporter actually screwed up the story too?
No, not the report. I mean,
the author.
He quoted Aaron Rodgers' accuracy. The author quoted Aaron Rodgers accurately. Aaron Rodgers misrepresented the story, which I was hoping no one would notice this part of the book. In fact, I was having this conversation with a Packers PR guy yesterday, asking for his advice on how to handle this. And since you've inquired, I don't want to blow up the clock on you guys because it's a little bit more involved than real quick. So do I tell the story? Would you like me to tell the story? Would you like to take a break? What would you like me to do?
I think you tell the story.
Yeah, please tell the story.
All right. So in whatever year that was, I don't remember. We did the show from 11 through 14, and there was a rumor that Aaron Rodgers was gay, and it was kind of getting viral on the internet. And for 4 years we did this show, the only time we ever discussed a topic ahead of time. Because when we first started doing the show, Aaron, understanding that I was a beat reporter and a journalist, said to me as we sat down in my office at Lambeau, I understand your ethics are important to you. I will never ask you to take it easy on me. Whatever questions you ask, I can handle. Okay? So that was our baseline. So this thing comes out about him allegedly being gay. And a PR person who I will not throw under the bus for this, and I and Aaron meet before the show that day on that Tuesday. And the PR guy is telling him, look, you need to just dismiss this. It's not worth your time. You don't want to get involved in this subject. Now, remember, in 2011 or 12, whatever it was at the time, I don't think people were, and there's still plenty of not so open-minded people. I understand that. But I don't think people looked at this maybe the same way they would now in 2024. But the PR guy was stressing him, look, just leave this be. I don't think you want to get involved in it. If you feel like you have to say something, just be dismissive about it and say, I like girls, and it'll be done. And I interrupted him, and I said, Aaron, what do you want to say? What do you want to say about this?
Sure.
Because no one had asked him. And Aaron, this part of the book is accurate. This is what he said. He talked about how it's not the fact that they're questioning whether I'm gay or not. It's that this storyline implies that I should be ashamed of who I am if I am gay. And that's what I have a problem with. And I'll tell you what, I'm not perfect when it comes to my memory, but this was such a seminal moment for me. I know with 1,000,000% accuracy what happened that day, and the way it is retold there is wrong, and that's on Aaron. Because what I said after he finished his soliloquy was, I snapped my finger and pointed at him, and I said, that's what you need to say. And the PR guy said, no, you don't want to do that. Greg, you might remember this guy. There was a punter for the Minnesota Vikings. His name was Chris Kluwe, and he was very active in LGBTQ causes. And what basically this PR guy said was, you're going to be the quarterback version of Chris Kluwe. And I said, no, you're not. You speak your piece, and if people have more questions about this, you say, hey, I said what I said, I stand by it, and it's over. But I said, you need to say what you actually believe. And we got done with that meeting, and the PR guy kept pushing, no, we're not going to say that. We'll just dismiss it. And we did that on the air, and it was embarrassing. And I was so angry because I thought we were demeaning in the way we handled it. And so and here's the other reason why I know with 100% certainty that I am remembering this correctly, is that I have told the story probably a dozen times, both on the air and privately, because it makes Aaron look so much better, because that's what he should have said. We screwed up. And I will own the fact that I didn't fight hard enough to make sure he told it the way he wanted to. But I had a friend send me pictures of the pages from the book that had this section in it. I read them. I was irate. And I texted Aaron, and I said, look, man, you're killing me with this. This is not how this happened. It was not me who talked you out of saying that. And so we corresponded for a while about it. I don't want to share what he wrote, but I would just say he downplayed how significant he thought this matter was being in the book, which of course made me even angrier because I'm the one who looks like I was afraid to speak the truth. So I know this was more than you bargained for, Jessica, when you asked, but this is a major hot button for me. Ian O'Connor is a friend of mine. He was on our show. I didn't want to bother him with this because I think today is the day that the book is actually out. And so I was waiting to reach out to him to share my frustration with this. But since you asked, I feel like I had to tell that. So I have corresponded with Aaron and shared my frustration with him. But it is not retold in the story by Aaron in an accurate manner.
No, I'm glad you told us the story. I'm glad you told us because as a journalist, that's obviously frustrating. You want it told like it is. So I feel for you there, and thanks for sharing it.
All right. Sorry to blow up the clock on you guys. I apologize.
No, all good. And the book being referenced is titled Out of the Darkness, The Mystery of Aaron Rodgers, written by Ian O'Connor, who I know joined the afternoon show last week to preview it. And yes, I believe the day may have been in stores or available online yesterday, but certainly is available today. So great clarification, Jason. Always great information. And we'll look forward to talking to you again next week.
Yeah, let's keep it lighter next week, can we? All right, guys.
Thanks, Jason.
Yeah, back to
Bye-bye.
kicker conversation next week. We'll see what happens there. So interesting stuff. 12:32 on WTMJ. A little late for the news. We'll get you up to date in a second.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for J.D. Griffiths. It was more than a year ago that my wife and I decided we needed new garage doors. And now a year later from J.D. Griffiths, and they look brand new. Just gorgeous garage doors that enhance the look of the house. They pop. I tell you, they pop. J.D. Griffiths has been doing it for more than 70 years. And they're not just providing premier garage doors. They're also Milwaukee's detached garage builders. They do it all for you. And now J.D. Griffiths is offering you a deal. You can get $100 off a new garage door opener with the purchase of a brand new garage door from J.D. Griffiths. They'll come in, you'll get that free at-home estimate, and they'll take care of you. Here's what you do. Go to the website, jdgriffiths.com/WTMJ, or call 414-362-7222 and mention me, Eric Bilstead, and you will save some cash. Check out J.D. Griffiths and enhance the look of your home. Those garage doors, they pop. 414-362-7222, J.D. Griffiths.
Now, about your house. Eric Brown is the president of Siding Unlimited, your contractor for new windows, roofing, siding, decks, and a whole lot more. He knows about your house. So what do you know, Eric?
Are you looking to give your home a new look? Siding Unlimited can help with the big stuff, but there are some little things that you can do to accessorize your home until you're ready for the major improvement. Let's start with the simple. Just hanging a plant, or easier yet, setting plants in front of your home can add color and life to your home. Plants with vibrant colors and healthy growth show your home is alive and well. Replacing light fixtures will definitely give a nice change of pace and help with the night accent lighting. There are other accessories that will help give an updated look to your home, such as custom address plates or even garage door hardware that can be a simple addition that draws the eye and gives you more curb appeal. The little adjustments are nice, but you might be ready for a major improvement. There are newer styles and colors in siding products, window and doors, as well as roofing products that can make your home pop and neighbors impressed. Siding options include different looks with shake siding such as hand split, Stager edge, straight edge, perfection shingles, and natural colors that really stand out. Sometimes new windows and doors can give such an elegant look because the glass alone is so crisp and clean. Whether you try the little things or call Siding Unlimited for the bigger projects, there are different ways to give your house a new look. Sometimes it's just time for the major improvement.
Eric and his crews at Siding Unlimited are your go-to contractor here for replacement windows, roofing, decks, and, of course, siding. They are the best, as acknowledged by the many rewards their suppliers have conferred upon them. Now, take the next step. Check them out at sidingunlimited.com. Siding Unlimited. Siding and a whole lot more.
I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Wednesday, August 21st. Your top story, MKE at the DNC.
I'm Jessica Ty. The first college experience starts today for many students.
Sunny, pleasant today, a high of 76. Clear tonight with a low of 50, 77. Your high under sunny skies on Thursday. From the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom, Decision Wisconsin, day 3 for the DNC in Chicago. All eyes still on Wisconsin.
Tonight is Milwaukee's night to shine here at the United Center in Chicago. Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson will take to the podium later tonight. A delegate from Washington, D.C. telling me that the party likes Cavalier Johnson. They like his energy. They like his youth. They like that he has a young family. Cavalier Johnson will speak tonight. And the delegates from our state, standing next to the stage, will be there to cheer him every step of the way. Outside the United Center, where people are beginning to file in, the police are showing up, and the media is here in full mass. John Merkier, WTMJ News.
Welcoming the class of 2028. It's officially move-in day at Marquette University in Milwaukee. Almost 3,500 students will move into 9 residence halls. Sophomore Alexis Menace tells TMJ4 what she hopes this year's incoming freshmen will love about the college experience.
So I feel like the freshmen are going to enjoy basketball games and honestly the classes too, like just learning is my favorite thing to do.
Marquette's incoming freshman class is made up of more than 2,100 students from 40 states, 2 U.S. territories, and 11 countries.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 12:38.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
Hi, it's Rose Gray from Fox World Travel, inviting you on an unforgettable 2025 bucket list adventure. We're guiding groups of local travelers to some of the world's top exotic destinations, including Australia and New Zealand, the Galapagos Islands, Costa Rica, Peru, Morocco, Turkey, Egypt, and Kenya. Our award-winning experts crafted group tours with Insight Vacations, Globus, and African Travel for your peace of mind. Visit foxworldtravel.com or call 866-GO-FOX-GO. Let's explore the world together.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Chief Anti-Procrastination Officer Brian Wickert. Most homeowners and home shoppers have heard the Federal Reserve will cut rates by 0.25% in mid-September. Well, I have great news. When it comes to mortgage rates, it's like the cut has already happened. That's how markets work, and it means there's no reason to wait to either start or resume your home search because most 30-year fixed-rate loan scenarios will now have a rate and APR that starts with the number 6 instead of 7-point-something. The already lower mortgage rates also mean the refi window of opportunity is open for folks who bought their homes earlier this year or late last year with a rate in the mid to high 7s. If you can save $1,000 a year in payments and spend less than that in refi loan cost, do it. AccuNet can also typically offer a genuine no loan cost refi, which makes lowering your payment a genuine no-brainer. Don't wait. Click on the blue button today for a no-pressure refi checkup or to get started with your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval. That's ACCUNET.com.
We'll get you updated on sports, traffic, and weather coming up in a little bit. Let's go to John Mercure, who is in Chicago covering the DNC and all things inside and outside. Day 2 of John's coverage with Wisconsin's Afternoon News. Hey, John.
Hey, Greg, Jessica. So today I'm inside here. let me paint the picture for you. I'm in United Center. I'm up on the 7th level. I'm looking down at the bowl. And the best way I can describe it is, Greg, your girls haven't gotten married yet, but eventually you're probably going to deal with this. You're at the wedding reception, you've paid for the hall, and now people are milling about making sure everything's in the right place and the tables are set up like they're supposed to be, and they're adjusting the lighting and they're telling people where they're going to sit. That's what it looks like as you look down here. There are lots of people, most of them not delegates, milling about on the floor. There are step ladders that are more than step ladders. They're like those 20-foot tall ladders, and they're adjusting things. People are taking pictures down on the stage. And I'm looking down at the stage where they're posing for photographs, and it's the exact same spot that the Obamas spoke from last night when this place was turned upside down. I mean, it was crazy in here last night.
It was wild. I mean, between Michelle's speech and Barack's speech, the energy really went up. And then you add in that very, very unique musical roll call we've never seen any roll call ever like that before. It was such a night. What are you expecting tonight? I know Bill Clinton's going to be there, but a lot of people are wondering, can he bring the energy of what people brought last night?
Yeah, a delegate told me that when they looked at the 4 nights, that this is the night that they thought would be the most low-key, that this is the night they thought would be, this is their words, not mine, the least exciting. If you think of the Democratic Party, they think they have rock stars that are really good speakers. And the Obamas, regardless of what you think of the politics, are very, very good speakers. Kamala Harris's big night will be on Thursday. Joe Biden Monday was supposed to be a very emotional sort of night. So tonight, I think, is low-key. Bill Clinton is very popular. He's very, very popular with the base. They're excited. But it's tough to have a night that follows the Obamas because they are so intense. They're such good speakers. There's such a love for them in the room. And Barack Obama is widely considered to be kind of the patriarch of the Democratic Party and the caretaker of the party, much more popular than the current president, Joe Biden. And so it's going to be tough to replicate what happened last night. Let me turn the tables and ask you guys a question, because we've been discussing this all day here amongst our Wisconsin friends. Tony Evers last night.
Oof.
Let me give you just a little perspective, and then I want you to weigh in. I had just talked to Tony Evers. I went down before the roll call, and I had knocked out a couple interviews. And as I was waiting to talk to one of our delegates, Tony Evers was next to me, and I know him pretty well. So he and I, for 5 minutes, sat and talked, not a recorded interview. Just talking and having a good time, and I was asking him stuff. I came back up to our seats and told my co-host Julia, I said, all right, let's settle in for the roll call. By the way, I just talked to Evers. He's energized. He sounds really excited. I said, he looks good. And then that happened just a few minutes after I had spoken to him.
I was stunned. My mouth literally was hanging open, wondering what is going on. Is he okay? It made me sad, to be honest with you, just a little sad for him.
A celebratory moment, right? I mean, it just in general, right? You want to be that person who's announcing your delegation, your music is playing, the energy inside the arena, John, you could feel it, right? If you were even watching it on TV. And, it's one thing to stumble, which he did here.
I'm jazz as hell to announce that Wisconsin cast one vote present and 94 votes were for, where we are. Got me going here.
Okay, well, we've all lost our place, but he never recovered. Like, that was the thing.
That was
like,
what was hard.
Even after that moment of pause, like, okay, let me reset, he never got out of it. It was just a winding mess.
So from where I could sit, I had just been down in our delegation, so I knew exactly where his seat was. So when that happened, I looked to where he was, and he sat down in his seat, which was right near where he was speaking, and no one in our delegation talked to him. And it made me really sad, and I could kind of feel, it's like, what do you say to the guy? Like, hey, that wasn't that bad. Hey, we'll do better next time.
No, you just got to say, it's going to be okay, man. It's going to be okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really all you can say.
And the only one really talking to him was his wife. And then that made me really sad. Then after about 20 minutes, he got up and he walked up the aisle to go to back where the restrooms and the concession stands are. And then people were trying to kind of like pat him on the back. And it wasn't a high five, like you killed it. It was like a pat on the back.
Yeah, it was
It wasn't that bad.
It was awkward. It was what I would call a butt clencher. When you're just like, oh, gosh, that's just awkward. But I agree. Everybody slips up, right? You say a little something or you lose your train of thought. I mean, it's just human nature. It's going to happen. But the fact that it was like 4 different times, and I remember at one point thinking, what is he trying to say? So it was too bad, but it sounds like he responded with, I'm fine, because there were some people who were concerned. Other people are like, okay, why were people concerned? It was just loud. He's older. He lost his train of thought. But it's nice to hear from him that he is okay, and then he was just jazzed up.
Yeah, and I found myself wanting, as I looked at our delegation after that moment, Ben Wickler, the chair of our DNC, our Democratic Party, who was next to him, Alex Lazary was there, others that we all know. I wanted one of them after the third time to maybe they're right next to him, put their arm around him and say, Kamala Harris, or somehow try to help him. And I don't know how they could have done that, but he seemed to be really on an island.
Yeah, he was. And even when he did sort of get it right at the end, he kind of stumbled through Kamala's name at the end. If it was closed caption, if you had that on, it said Kamala Hot on the screen, which was very strange as well. So not a great night for Governor Evers and a very celebratory night for the party. I wanted to ask you this, John, because I was speculating myself. Why would the Obamas speak on Tuesday and Bill Clinton on Wednesday? But then as the night sort of went on, it felt to me like, aside of Thursday, which is going to be a big night, it felt like Tuesday's the night. Like that was your best foot forward. It was the roll call set to music. It was Kamala in Milwaukee with 15,000 people at Fiserv, adjacent to, Barack Obama and Michelle Obama and all the energy that was in the arena. I feel like that was their day. They looked at Tuesday as a bigger day than normal for these conventions.
Well, Greg, and I think the answer is really simple. I think you make a good observation. I think the answer is tonight is Tim Walz's night. Tonight is the vice president's night. Traditionally, and in this case where we don't know the vice president very well, an important night for the DNC. And if they put the Obamas on the same night as Tim Walz, nobody's talking about Tim Walz. Everybody's talking about Michelle Obama and Barack Obama. There's no way you can have the Obamas talk and then have Tim Walz come out, because nobody talks about Tim Walz then at all. He's completely overshadowed. To the point earlier in our conversation, Bill Clinton, he's charismatic. He's okay, but he's an older guy. He's not going to deliver, most people believe, the way that Michelle and Barack Obama did. So it's less of a threat to Tim Walz being overshadowed than if you put the Obamas on the Wednesday night. That would have been really tough for Tim Walz.
Well, and that's true, because people do need a chance. I mean, the country needs a chance to get to know Tim Walz, because sure, up in Minnesota they do, but not everywhere else. So that gives people a good chance to get to know him. And to be honest, he is a likable guy for a lot of people. I mean, former teacher and coach. So
veteran, right.
Yeah. So, I mean, hopefully for the Democrats, he gives a good speech too, and we'll see.
And John, what do you and Julia have coming up? I know you're packing a lot into your time down there.
Yeah, a couple of things. So we're going to focus on tonight. Wisconsin has another chance to be in the spotlight. Cavalier Johnson is scheduled to speak tonight. We don't yet know the time, but he's scheduled to be on the stage, so we're going to discuss that in pretty good depth. We're also going to look at Kamala Harris's laugh. This has become, and it seems weird to me, but it's become controversial. It's polarizing. It's all over social media. Michelle Obama talked about the laugh. The second gentleman, Doug Emhoff, talked about the laugh. And one of our delegates is talking about the laugh. So we're going to look at Kamala Harris's laugh coming up this afternoon. And our experts are with us. Anthony Chergosky from La Crosse has been outstanding. Charles Benson will be here. Kristen Bry. We will be live from inside the United Center beginning at 3 o'clock for what's going to be another huge night.
Well, you have a great laugh, and you are our first gentleman, John McKeer. We appreciate that as always. Hey, appreciate your time, pal. Sorry for getting to you a little bit late. Wildy told a great story about what was in Ian O'Connor's book. It was quite compelling, so we apologize for getting you a little bit late.
That's a great book. I just got my copy of the book, by the way, and I can't wait to read it.
There you go, man.
Here's how my reading list works. So I got Hillbilly Elegy, the J.D. Vance book, after the RNC, and I just started reading that, and I want to put it aside because I want to read the Ian O'Connor book, which I just got yesterday, so we'll see how that works out.
Need a vacation day.
All good. Appreciate it, John. We'll check in again tomorrow.
All right. Thanks, guys.
You bet. 1249 on WTMJ. Speaking of the mayor, he joined us on yesterday's program. So how does this all work? How do you end up on the stage at the DNC? Right? It's not in Milwaukee. This is in Chicago. So how does the Milwaukee mayor end up a part of it? We'll explore it after this.
Hi, everyone. Jeff Levering here. And when we moved into our home 10 years ago, we knew the time would come to replace our roof. That came sooner than we thought with the storms during the spring. So we called the pros at Ridgetop Exteriors, and they did more than just live up to their motto, trusted, local, and affordable. Within just a few weeks, we had our new roof picked and completed. Their team treated us just like family, and the customer service was a real home run. Give Ridgetop Exteriors a call and book your appointment today to ensure your project gets completed before the next big storm.
Protecting your family and legacy since 1999. WTMJ's Greg Matzik here for Krause Estate Planning and Elder Law Center. It's Dan Krause, over 20 years of estate planning experience. He will help guide you through what could be a challenging time and difficult to understand. Well, that's what they do at Krause. They make it easy, digestible, and will help craft a plan for you or your loved ones to protect what you've earned and protect what you've built. It's Krause Estate Planning. Got a new office open in Brookfield. Let them guide you through the process from start to finish. Just reach out and learn about this business and how Dan Krause started, a retired Army veteran who has spent a couple of decades building plans for people like you at that stage in your life, or maybe your folks are at that stage in their lives. Brookfield, Madison, and Oregon, where you'll find Krause Estate Planning. Online, it's estateplanningpeople.com.
Annex Wealth Management, investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning from a fee-only fiduciary. Forget commission sales pitches and financial products you don't need. Know the difference. Annex provides elite, comprehensive financial planning, customized to who you are and what you need. AnnexWealth.com.
For your next exterior remodeling project, we know you're not asking a lot from us. You want the right products for your situation, you want a few different financing options that can make your project affordable, and you want us to do a good job with minimal disruption to your life. And this one's important. You want a warranty that matters. And we know that checking every box makes all the difference. You might be surprised at how many moving parts go into it, but we have just the right people in all the right places to pull that off every day and make it look easy. The company we have took us 21 years to build. It's an awesome place to work because we never stop improving it. And we think we can do this work so well that we can actually change the reputation of exterior remodelers long term. This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semper Fi.
Ask about our finance options.
These are powerful, FDA-approved pharmacological pain treatments precisely administered by an easy injection to the root source of your pain. Positive patient outcomes are over 91%. And we do this conveniently. The entire process is performed in office, so it's very easy for our patients.
Rejuvenex founder Richard Salinas, with the help of some of the finest pain relief physicians in the country, have helped bring their proprietary pain treatment formula to the forefront of pain relief medicine. Having performed over 100,000 pain treatments and counting, patient results have shown again and again that pain relief is possible in shoulders, hips, elbows, and knees, with some patients' pain relief lasting more than 2 years.
We're in network with almost all major insurance plans, including Medicare and Medicaid, and this could mean zero out-of-pocket costs for your pain relief treatment.
Rejuvenex. Alleviate your pain.
Juvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
Beautiful day today. Very pleasant conditions. A high of 77. Tomorrow, we'll get up to 77. Sunny skies. That continues on Friday with a high of 80 degrees. Some clouds start to filter in. Not looking for any rain until maybe in the day or evening on Sunday. 12:53 on WTMJ at 71.
Well, we're just talking about Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson taking the stage at the DNC tonight. It's going to be nice to see somebody local on the stage. He joined us earlier this week on Wisconsin's Midday News, and we asked him to reveal his role.
It's not like my superhero origin story, like, Bruce Wayne going down crime alley with his parents and all the stuff that leads up to him becoming Batman. It's not that. It's more of a baton passing between myself and another mayor and introducing another package that the DNC has planned. But I'm still very grateful to have the opportunity to be on that stage, and it's going to be one of the things that I remember for the rest of my life, I'm sure.
Sure. Do you get an invite to talk? Do you request to talk? How does it all work?
Yeah, we ask the question. Everybody asks the question. Who wouldn't want to be on that stage at any given point and on any given night? And fortunately, the DNC said yes. And, of course, there's a lot of attention being paid to Milwaukee, being paid to Wisconsin in this. And I think it bodes well for Democrats to pay attention to our city and to our state.
How true is that, though? No matter what, it's something that he is going to remember for the rest of his life. It's a big moment.
Yeah, no doubt about it, right? And it's not just a Wisconsin thing, like, obviously during the RNC era, Hovde was on the stage. You had that Wisconsin flavor on the stage in Wisconsin. But I think it's a unique opportunity for Cavalier to be on the stage in a different state and have a bit of that national spotlight. Of course, he'll speak earlier in the night than Bill Clinton and the primetime discussion that we'll have. But nonetheless, a very unique opportunity. Very, very cool.
And some people would argue that he's a rising star in the Democratic Party, so a good opportunity for him as well.
We are out of time here on Wisconsin's Midday News. Spanning the state coming up next. Kristen Bry's been in Chicago all week long. Don't forget, John and Julia will have Wisconsin's afternoon news from the DNC today and tomorrow. As a matter of fact, later tonight, we have got Brewers baseball here on WTMJ.
Throughout history, some people have been born into greatness because of their name or family. Others gained greatness because of their actions. On Wisconsin's Morning News, we celebrate everyday heroes, the John or Jane Doe who had no idea when they woke up one morning they'd be saving a life. Everyday Heroes, Thursday at 6:40 on Wisconsin's Morning News. Presented by Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living, transforming the culture of care.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik here with a note for Holiday Automotive in Fond du Lac. Boy, it's a great time to gear up and score deep closeout savings while you get more for your trade on a new Chevy, Buick, or GMC. Connect with Holiday. It's straightforward. The process is simple. It's a pressure-free buying approach, and you're going to find what's right for you. They have an incredible selection. I was up there a couple of weeks ago. Could not believe the inventory. So get in on those closeout savings. Wisconsin favorites are available for you. Stack that savings with other great offers. Got low finance rates, generous customer cash, things that are designed to lower your bottom line and your payment. I've been driving Holiday for about a decade now, and with good reason. I'm a repeat customer, and I know you'll be in great hands with them on your side. Wisconsin's #1 Buick and GMC dealer. Accolades are per 20